Good morning and welcome to the new edition of Better Thyself segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. We read any self help book, we go to any life coach, and all the life coaches, at least most of them more than 90%, and all these self help books which adorn the shelf of the libraries and the bookshops vehemently state that you should have a single purpose. You should have one passion, and that single purpose and that one passion should permeate your personality, your psyche, and all your energies, all your efforts should be towards attaining that goal. Come on, this is the tragedy of the human endeavor. Why should you have a single purpose or single passion? When people tell you to find your purpose, they are not aware that the purpose of a human being can never be focused on one point. When they tell you to find your passion, they should know that the passions vary according to the circumstance, according to the situation, according to the socio-economic conditions, economic and also ecosystem. Human beings are not linear expressions of life. Let's be very clear. And a single purpose or a single passion would imply that we are linear representatives of life, which we are not. We are all multi layered beings with abundance of gifts, talents, interests, and ideas. So, if we are single passion, how is it that the gifts that are multi layered, that the talents which are diverse, that the interests which can vary and should vary, and ideas, the most important thing, creative, non creative, all those ideas are not one. And when you try to modulate, pressurize those ideas in one direction, those ideas, those thoughts, those feelings lose their very purpose. Why are we putting the pressure on ourselves to have one purpose, to have one passion? We all grow. We are human beings which we grow. And we shift our attention so much in our lifetime that you can't imagine yourself. What you are today, you may not have been yesterday. And this continuous change, this continuous growth is a hallmark of life. If you have one passion and you are fixed on that, physically you may grow, but spiritually and mentally you are tied like an ox to one point, and like the ox, you go round and round in circles without any meaning. Who is to say that your purpose in your 20s isn't going to evolve into something else by the time you're 30s, by the time you're 50s, and beyond? Personally, I never really felt like I had one passion, and I've attempted to live life like I did always to ensure that I'm not stressful and I'm not inauthentic. Most important in my life has been authenticity. And authenticity means that whatever idea comes to my mind, whatever thought comes to my mind, must germinate and flower. And if it doesn't flower, then I'm not being authentic. And secondly, if I'm honest and my ideas come at different times, and I don't give expression to them because they might conflict with my one passion, then again I'm being unauthentic. That being so, I try to focus my energy on what it looks like, bring passion and purpose to everything I do. When I studied literature, art management, economics, and natural sciences, it was to ensure that I have a multi layered capability to deal with the multi layered problems of life. And then what do? I ask myself, what kind of, what type of kindness, care, joy, patience must I have to harness in order to bring purpose and passion to my relationship? Now, here comes the crucial point, the relationship with myself and those around me. Your best soulmate is yourself. And people forget that. And that's what I've written in my idea of the day today. When the people are at all purposes with themselves, then they cannot do anything. And that is the tragedy of life. Then hypocrisy, shame, can enters into life. Till today, I have not come across anyone who hasn't had a job that they did not like on the way of finding the job they do like. 90% of the people have always been telling me that they don't like their jobs. They are doing such a bad job. If it was one purpose, the once you get a job, you should continue there. Your children are born, and then the focus changes. When the new child is born, your focus changes towards his physical being. Child start going to school, you are concerned with a child's attainment. At that time, you're not thinking of the career, but once the child is in the high school and the secondary school going to the college, then you start thinking of advising the child what career to adopt. So the focus keeps on changing. Your end product, the end objective is a child, but the various aspects of the child's growth, they keep on changing. So how can your focus not change? How can your passion not change? Before a child is born, you might be reading books on parenting. After the child is born, you read the books concerned with childhood diseases. Tragic. If the child is in the study, then you start studying the job market, the economy, and things like that. So the focus is continuously shifting, and that's for the child. Same is about other groups that you are interacting with. After your life is a series of concentric circles. You are the center, and there are at least seven circles which are revolving around you yourself, your family, your spouse, your children, your colleagues, your social groups, your playmates, and like that. And you have got to have a different purpose for different people. None of the job. I have been in various jobs at various levels of my life. I have had the highest commendations. And that was because I could cater to those things. When nobody knew what nanotechnology is, I wrote 3 articles on nanotechnology. And I am often asked to chair international conference on nanotechnology, and my background is not science. So if I had gone to literature and had studied only literature, then that should have been my only passion. But no, then the politics came in, then the entrepreneurship came in, corporate management came in, and then my consultancy, where I think there was no aspect of the human life and this world which we did not explore. And as I told you, and that's why CNN, when they criticized me as one in million, that was the ultimate. But then the point is, if you have one job, then you are stunting your growth. Don't forget that the moments of doing things, you are likely to come across you will find much more important things to say to yourself. You'll say, okay, it's not easy to like this, but what can I learn from this? That is what you need. If your single passion is what you can learn from a situation and then apply it in your life, then that passion I can understand. How, what, why. I found that most of us in our 9 to 5 jobs do not have to be how we identify ourselves. There is, in fact, a chasm, a gap, an abyss in what we are doing and how we identify ourselves. And if you can bridge that gap, you would find that there are various stages in that. So your passion and your objective has to vary, has to alter, has to change according to that. They can be the jobs and how you identify, but are not always a place where you have a greater sense of purpose or passion. 95% of people who go to jobs feel either that they are unfit for the job, other employers and the colleagues think they are unfit for the job. Most of the married couples, their partners think that they have married the wrong couple. They could have married somebody else. But that dedication to each other, the dedication to a job, if dedication is the passion, I accepted it, let it be a single passion. But the dedication should be associated with the spirit of inquiry. Some of the best advice that comes to us, struggling as we are with our lives, don't stress about what you have to do during 9 to 5 jobs. Focus on who you are from 5 to 9. That's a crucial point. Your job, as I said, you're in concentric circles. So your passion would shift from A to B to C to D to E. And if you're doing that and keeping alive your creativity, your sense of purpose, and your spirit of inquiry, then your life is worth its meaning. So stress should not be about doing the job and one thing or attending to the family. It should be a compendium of all aspects. If you're someone who feels like you know what that your one purpose, that is a wonderful way of going through life. But that purpose must not be static. Well, that's what I want to say. You have to root for yourself every step of your life. When the people say, I mean, somebody told me that Rolling Stone gathers no moss. And I told him, why do you want to gather moss? Moss is a sign of death, whether it's physical or it's mental. Why do people have a death wish? Why should? Then somebody said, well, the stones which keep on rolling don't have edges. I said, well, that's better. Why should you not be smooth in life and smooth in thinking? Why must you have just sharp edges? Why can't they be rounded off? So even the proverbs that we have are so inane, meaningless, and then they are our guiding posts. As a matter of fact, identify yourself with goals, not with goal. The goals would change according to the concentric circle with which you are dealing. Your goal in family life would be different than your goal in a job. Your thinking, your pattern, your friend. Commit yourself to bringing every purpose that you have and passion. into each conversation, workspace, and home space you are part of. And then another thing, there's a variety the spice of life. So if you have single purpose or a single passion, where's the variety? And why the hell should you have instant aimless life? So when you do not have, or when you have one purpose, you are in fact no better than a mindless ant running hither and thither. Be a butterfly flitting from one flower to another flower, tasting the flavor of each bird. There is a comment by Mr. Singh Paul that I was about to ask you the same questions. Thanks for the explanation. Thank you, Mr. Singh. I appreciate. If you want to be true to thyself, if you want to be better Homo sapien, then you need variety of purposes because you're a multi-layered personality. But each purpose must be dovetailed to the essential part that you are a human being and you need to be identified as an authentic human being. If you can have that, it's immaterial whether you have 10 purposes or 20 purposes. The more, the better, but limited to the extent of your capability. Thank you.